Open world games are non-linear by nature. In a well-constructed world, a game is just a mold players can run wild, shaping and forming into their own unique experience. Immersive and expansive, it's no surprise that open world games can therefore be real time sinks. And today, we're talking about the biggest ones. Games where the main story isn't really the main event, but rather the skeleton of a much, much bigger beast. With that, here are 10 open world games that are the longest. Let's jump right in. Opening this list, Cyberpunk 2077 may have had a rocky start to say the least, but in its post 2.0 update state, it is an absolute epic to behold. Night City is one of the most beautiful futuristic urban settings in a video game yet, filled to the brim with life. The main story can take around 30 hours to complete, but side content like completing gigs, doing killer dance moves with your romance partner, and the incredible Phantom Liberty DLC will have completionists committing well over 100 hours to explore it all. Elden Ring is From Software's biggest release to date. Despite this, The Lands Between, in addition to being massive, is one of the richest, most beautifully crafted worlds in gaming. The main questline is an already not so insignificant 60 hours long, but with the many side quests being even more compelling than much of the main story, plus the time it'll take you to pull your hair out as you fall short yet again to your boss of choice, damn you Godskin duo, you're likely to spend closer to the 133 hours it takes to achieve 100% completion. If you like the idea of a Norse mythology-inspired open world, look no further than Valheim, a survival and sandbox game set in a procedurally generated world, where players must gather resources, build shelters, and defeat mythical creatures to prove their worth to Odin. Exploring, crafting, and battling together in a rich and challenging environment that can take 80 hours just to complete the core game, though many hardcore fans continue for many, many more. For better or for worse, Valhalla is Ubisoft's biggest entry in the Assassin's Creed franchise. Take on the role of Eivor, a Viking leader exploring and conquering 9th century England, while parkouring your way around the countryside in classic Assassin's Creed fashion. With raids, settlement building, and character customization, you'll likely stick around longer than the 60 hours it takes to complete the main story. That is, if you are able to push through the grindy gameplay. Square Enix did not hand themselves an easy task when taking on remaking the all-time classic Final Fantasy VII. This second entry in the remake trilogy expands on the original's narrative with enhanced graphics, refined combat mechanics, and new story elements, offering a fresh yet familiar experience for fans. The main game only takes 40 to 50 hours to complete, but man is there a lot more side content to dive into, which will stack up those hours big time. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt features yet another of gaming's finest open worlds you can throw yourself into, playing as monster hunter Geralt of Rivia on his search for his lost adopted daughter. Factor in the fascinating Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine expansions, or, just Gwent, and you've got one of the most immersive open world blockbusters you can get your hands on. Do everything the world has to offer and you're looking at about 170 hours of gameplay. Next is Red Dead Redemption 2, where the grueling world of the Wild West has never been so real. Rockstar delivered yet another open world masterpiece with this release, featuring a 50-hour epic on the excitement of a cowboy outlaw's lifestyle, but also on the beauties of nature, family, and morality. Nonetheless, odds are you'll catch yourself in the middle of a lake with your fishing line out going, "What was I doing again?" You can't make a list about lengthy open world games without some Bethesda entries. The fifth full game in the Fallout franchise, Fallout 4, still is the most ambitious. The post-nuclear apocalypse Boston area is teeming with history, quests, and enemies, and the shockingly complex settlement building mechanics alone has players committing hundreds of hours to the game. The 34 hours it takes to play the main questline are just the tip of the iceberg. No surprises again, as Bethesda's most celebrated game of all time is still going strong. I wonder if they've noticed. The base game is huge, with a 34-hour story plus hundreds of side quests, expansive DLCs, and the fact that it's the perfect playground for all sorts of Dovahkiin shenanigans. But what really has kept it going for so many years is its mod community. Seriously, the original game is merely an intro quest for all the possibilities available today. Finally, at number 1, we have the latest installment in the somehow still expanding universe of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom provides players with unparalleled freedom, where playing the main story is just a rough guideline for how you should be exploring this immense world. What really sets the game apart is its mind-boggling, infinitely creative building mechanics. The game on average takes 50 to 70 hours to complete, but you'll likely be exploring the painstakingly crafted world for much more. Do you have a favorite long open world game that we haven't mentioned on this list? Let us know in the comments, and check out thegamer.com for all your gaming needs.